Hello, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje and I love drawing. And I just moved into this very empty sounding and looking space. I have my desk set up, so there's a start. I have boxes of sketchbooks that I need to unpack. This space is also going to be my studio space where I do my abstract painting. So I'm super excited to get started in this new space. And I will also be filming a whole lot of Draw Tip Tuesday videos here. Today though, I want you to get back to an exercise that I gave you quite a while ago. I made a video about it and I will show it right away. It's all about negative spaces and capturing proportions and perspective using your negative spaces. And because in the video from last week, I showed you how I was drawing my last drawing of the living room that isn't my living room anymore, and I mentioned negative spaces. So I thought it would be helpful to get back to that video, and here it is. Let's talk about foreshortening, which is what happens when you see something in perspective, like so. My hand is super big right now in proportion to my face, and that's because it's closer to you. And that distortion can actually be even worse with a camera like this. Today, let's use that extra distortion and let's tackle how to even put that onto paper, because sometimes when you see something distorted like that, foreshortened like that, you're like, wait, no, that can't be right. But then it is right. So today I will pose for you and together we will try and get that strange perspective onto our paper. Let's do this. Okay, so I am starting with the feet and they are closest to the camera, and I think that makes most sense to actually start there because that will give you a lot of reference points, because everything else is sort of behind that in terms of perspective. So I'm trying to figure out sort of what is what, but these are just the toes that I'm now drawing. It's that purple part of my stripy socks. And from there on, I am just going to see if I can find the right shape. And for that, I am looking for the negative space that is between my foot and the leg of the chair. And that is very helpful because that gives me a lot of visual stuff to hold on to, basically. From there on, I can sort of confidently start drawing the leg of my pants. But I'm not sure how wide I should draw it, so I'm going back to my socks. Looking at the stripes will actually give me a lot of sense of shape. Like with a continuous line drawing, I'm just following the lines that I see, the shapes that I see, and then try to follow my eyes with my pencil. And now I actually have enough information to finish the shape of that pant leg there, at least the bottom of it, the folded part. I want to also draw the other foot, and I can actually make use of that negative space. You see a little bit of the bottom of the chair and then part of the background, that white sort of triangle. And from here on, I can actually finish the shape of that foot again by using the stripes of the sock. And I'm adding a little bit of shading just to give me a bit of a sense what is what. And to be honest, I actually think that is also a form of procrastination. But maybe this way I am charging myself up for the next piece of the puzzle. I'm just really moving very slowly and I'm not looking at the whole, I'm just looking at this really small part, so that I'm not distracted by if it's going to make sense. I'm just looking at negative spaces and also at dark spaces. I don't even need to know what kind of dark space it is, if it's a shadow or if it's a dark stripe of the sock. I see a dark space and I'll draw that. Again, I can take a good look at the negative space, and that gives me sort of a framing for the second and also for the third leg of the chair. You can't even see the fourth leg of the chair. My legs are overlapping that. So I'm kind of building this up, just going bit by bit, piece by piece. Here, for example, I can check if I'm at the right place. If I look at the photo, I can sort of draw a plumb line, imaginary, and then I see that that knuckle is right above that big toe. That helps a lot. So I know that I placed that shape of the hand in the right position. It's not too much to the left or right. And now I can just add more detail. Don't go into all the detail right away. Once you know a shape is in the right place, then you can leave it for a little bit and work on, the next thing, so that you know that you're not overworking one part while a whole part of your drawing isn't even done yet. Trying to slowly just work my way towards the knee, and then from there on I can finish that shape of the shin. Negative space again, the dark blue of the sleeve of my sweater there. And then there's that little triangle of white. That is also a negative space. By adding that little triangle, I have drawn my upper leg. I'm shading a little bit to give myself some context, to understand what is what. And now I'm going to tackle the very scary part, which is my head. I can see that the start of my neck is actually starting right where on the other side of my knee the end of my sleeve is. I'm not finishing up the whole head yet because I want to first draw the shape on the right of the chair with my arm on it. If I have that, I can actually make sure that everything is in place before I already have drawn, a whole face and it turns out to be on the wrong height or something. Again, negative space. And once I have done that, I can finish the shape of the hand. I can now see that I didn't quite draw the chair in the right position, that line of the chair, but that's okay, I can fix that. Adding the upper leg, again, that is like a stretched triangle, that's all. Here's another bit of procrastinating because the face is to me quite a scary part, but here we go. I'm looking at the shape of the hair and then I can use that dark space as a negative space. You see that little curtain of hair that actually can give me the placement and the shape of the nose. By just drawing that dark bit, I am drawing the nose. All I need to add is a nostril that we look up into. And there's my nose. The eyebrow, I'm looking at where the hair is and also again negative space that I see between the hair and the eyebrow. And then I can also do that for the eye. Just a little bit of shading, not too much because we don't need it. Placement of the mouth, also by using just the dark shadow on the lip. I think that's enough to describe the face. It looks a little bit turtle-ish, I think, because it's such a small head in comparison to the legs. And I'm sitting in this chair. That's really funny. I suddenly see myself as a sort of a turtle here. But anyway, that is the strange thing about foreshortening. The head is so small. Look at the head in comparison to the feet. It can't be right, but it is. And this is really one of the things that is so important when you are drawing from life. You have to trust your eyes because you might think that something should be looking a certain way, but if you really look at it, you can actually see that things are different. And of course, with a photo like this, taken with a wide angle, everything is extra distorted. But I think that's really fun. I mean, it's a benefit. And you can actually also use the frame of the photo if that helps you to find more negative spaces for the outline, for example. I am using a purple colored pencil by Caran. It's a Luminance colored pencil. I love the texture of it and the feeling of it. It's soft, but not too soft, not too oily or greasy. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Kind of surprised by myself here. And now I'm just adding a little bit of shading just because I don't want to stop yet. And also to make sure that the drawing has enough volume and lights and darks. I think I'll add that part of the background because that also is distorted. I think that gives it a little bit of a frame and a little bit of context. Just some more shading on the legs. And that's it. Well, that sure was challenging. But I think if you find those parallels and if you know how to, find points where you can measure things against each other and you use your negative spaces, then you can that can bring you a long way. Play around, exaggerate if if that helps you. All of those things will help you to make a convincing drawing, basically. Be a little bit courageous. I think you need that because when you start with a drawing like this, you might get into some sort of panic mode at first, but just start and trust your eyes, trust that you can do it. This needs a lot of practicing, so do it a lot. Maybe you can take some pictures like I did, model for yourself, but you can also find lots of photos online to practice with. And the more you practice, the more confident you will get, even though every time for every artist, this is like a big one and a tough one and a good challenge. But I like challenges. It pushes me out of my comfort zone and when the drawing actually, turns out well, that's always great. But just the process of finding all the pieces of the puzzle, that is actually the most fun part of drawing. Have fun, keep on practicing. I will do so too. And make sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out on any new Draw Tip Tuesdays that I will be publishing and posting here. I will see you soon. Bye. I sure have some work to do because I have some empty trolleys that have lots of negative spaces. So I think I will dive into that today for my sketchbook. And your assignment for this week is to go find something to draw that has a lot of negative spaces or that you can really use your negative spaces well with, like foreshortening. I hope you will have a lot of fun doing so. It will be wonky, I promise. It will be okay, I promise too. I can't wait to see you again in the new year. Bye!